All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday to everybody. Super exciting for today and the weekend coming up. So today we're going to be talking about for Real Estate Friday on how to win listings using geographic farming. So let me start off by asking you this. Are you successfully farming an area right now for your real estate business? Type one if you are. Just want to know who's out there farming or you have an area that you're farming right now. So if you are, please type one just so you know what you're doing out there. So the question again is, are you successfully farming an area for your real estate business today? First of all, what is a geographic farming? Well, geographical farming, AKA geographical marketing, is the practice of making yourself well known in a local area. And there are a few ways that you can go about doing this. But the question is it worth it? Well, before we get into the nitty gritty, we need to figure it out if it's worth it. So keep in mind that you should go after neighborhoods that have a high turnover rate, and you don't want to try to farm an area that only has a 4% turnover rate unless the listing commissions are huge. If that's the case, then it might make sense. But it's all about doing the math, right? So what are you spending to get the lead and get the listing? What is the commission that you're going to earn? If the math doesn't make sense, you're not going to be profitable. So always run the math before you go into a geographical farm area to ensure that you're making a wise move for yourself. You should also consider whether the area that you're planning to farm is convenient to your office or your home. So for that, you need to do your homework to see if there is any pre-existing competition in the area. If there's already a well-established go-to agent in the area, are you willing to spend the money and expend the energy to knock them off their pedestal, so to speak? If the answer is no, then it should be wise to find a less competitive area to do business. But let's say that you already established or you have already established which area you want to farm. If you have that, the next step is you need to be visible. Okay, there are a lot of ways that you can move forward and be visible on how to do this. So let's say you live in the neighborhood, and in your neighborhood you have the advantage that you can attend HOA meetings or community events or block parties, etc. Even simple things like walking your dog around your neighborhood and get in front of more people in your same neighborhood will help you get established. So think about different ways. Think outside the box. How can you be visible and be well known in your area? Do they know that you're a real estate agent where you live? Does your neighbor know that you're a real estate agent? So think about that for a second. But regardless of whether or not you live in the neighborhood that you're looking to farm, there are a few paths that you can take to build a successful geographical marketing campaign. And for that, there's different methods that you can do this for finding the right farming area or how to go geographical marketing for that area. So what are some of those methods? Number one, I have a few of them. Number one is, have you heard of EDDM postcards? That means every door direct mail, short for EDDM. It's a wholesale way to mail postcards and other marketing materials like flat mail or even magazines. We've had other vendors joining us on the Real Estate Friday talking about the magazines and how to distribute those magazines to past clients, your sphere, or other people. So think of EDDM like that. It's a flat mail that you can send out, magazines, different type of things, and you don't have to pay. The good things about that or about this method is that you don't have to pay the normal rate for those mailings. For example, a 24-page magazine could be shipped for about 18 cents a piece. So you can print postcards in bulk, flyers, a newsletter filled with a lot of information specifically targeted or catered to that neighborhood. So think about EDDM. Another option, number two, will be to do Facebook ads or Google geo-targeted ads. And Steve has segments that he talks a lot about this type of marketing ads, which I'm pretty sure he loves it and he preach about it all the time. So Facebook ads, and Google geo-targeted ads. If you prefer, which we highly recommend, doing online advertising, running your graphically targeted ads on platforms like Facebook or Google is a great idea. Just like you would connect with potential clients using postcards, you can get or you can target them with ads on Facebook and Google. So, how do you do this? Or let's talk about this for a second. If you have a listing in the neighborhood or in a specific neighborhood, you could run an ad and present your open house as a really big deal. Okay. Include a photo of the open house with lots of balloons and a big for sale sign in the front yard. That's just one example of where you can stand out and show that extra effort that you take for your clients. Who are you? You want to show the world who you are. You want to show the people in that same neighborhood, right? Steve, you want to add something on Facebook ad and geo targeted, Google geo targeted ads?
Yes, big fan of this. Facebook has changed the rules recently as far as how tight you can get with your geo-targeting. Used to be we could get down to within a mile, a square mile of it's almost a building or a really small zip code. It's a little bit wider now. It's a 15-mile radius, but you can still do your targeting in a way where you can run not only Facebook ads, but most people don't think about running video, Daylon. And video views on Facebook are very cheap. They're very, very affordable. Pennies per view. And with just a little bit of money, you can make yourself omnipresent and make sure that they see you all the time in a specific area. And I got another bonus at the end. I want to save it for the end, though. Another suggestion that I want to add at the end that maybe no one's ever thought about. So that'd be
okay,
my
awesome.
Stay till the end for that one.
Awesome. So yeah, definitely we suggest doing Facebook ads and Google geo-targeted ads. Like Steve said, you can go omnipresent. Another one or the third one would be to do calls and door knocking, right? That's very well known. So that'll be calls and door knocking. So when you get that listing in a farm area, what you should be doing is knocking on the doors and all the neighbors' doors. Okay, introducing yourself, saying something like, "Hey, I'm selling this home over here. Do you know anyone who's looking to buy in this neighborhood? I would love to introduce myself or introduce them to this home. Ask them if they have any questions about the home or have any questions about the value of their own personal property." And this is a great way to, in a casual way, be in front of them. I mean, you're not cold knocking, right? Or cold calling. You're actually letting them know that you have this specific property for sale. Now that conversation will lead to something else. Now I do have a disclaimer about that as far as calls and door knocking, and that is that there are many changes in laws around the country. So you need to take careful consideration with things like cold calls, door knocking, and door hangers. So always check with your local or state government to ensure that you're legally allowed to use these methods. And I'm saying this because you might be watching this on YouTube, on Facebook later on, and maybe you're not from Miami area or for Florida, you might be for somewhere else. So please always do your due diligence before you proceed with any of this type of strategies. But again, cold calls, door knocking. I mean, if you're able to land a listing in this market, take advantage of that. Okay, be omnipresent, be well known in that neighborhood. If you're not sure which area to farm, if you go after, let's say you get a listing, that could be a possible area that you can start farming. Now we got an area in Shanley Park area, right? I never had a listing in that area, and I was able to land a listing there. And now we're working with the neighbor. The neighbor now wants to sell a house, and he wanted to go for a sale by owner. So we were able to apply the strategy that we have taught you guys in Real Estate Friday on how to get for sale by owners, apply that. Now, the advantage that we had is that we already had a listing. So it was right, his neighbor. So the fact that now we're getting tons of buyers coming in, I told the guy, now you can potentially bring those same buyers over to you and possibly showing the house and landing a sale. So always use the leverage, use what you have. So if you have a listing, that's a great area. So you can start marketing yourself and be well known and have the upper hand when other agents comes in, you're already there. So keep that in mind. Again, the strategies are EDDM postcards, which is every door direct mail, Facebook ads and Google geo-targeted ads, and calls and door knocking. Now, Steve, I'm waiting for you to see what you have for us, man. What's the bonus?
Okay, so the bonus is, and put a 1 in the chat, or let me know if you've heard of this, geofencing. Has anyone even heard of geofencing, much less tried it?
What is geofencing?
So geofencing, if you Google geofencing, there's one company called Propellant Media that's sort of the leader in this. And for, I think, a few $100s, they will take and make sure that they will create some ads for you and make sure that you show up in a geographically fenced area. So they can do that with farming, of course, is pretty easily. They can even go right down to a building and make sure that you show in a bit. I just finished telling you that Facebook doesn't do that anymore, and it's hard to get that narrow on Facebook or one of the major platforms. But geofencing allows you to do exactly that. Now, the caveat is that this does not include the major platforms like Instagram or Facebook or something like that. They make sure that your ad shows up on all kinds of in-app ads, websites, some pretty obscure stuff, to be honest. But the idea is to be omnipresent, to be like, I just always see this person over and over, this agent, you know, and have people within that, only people within that farming area be able to see you in all the different apps and websites that they are part of. And they can even get you right into, like I said, some of these apps. So geofencing, Google that and take a look at that. The company is called Propellant Media that will do that for you. And you might want to check that out as a farming strategy.
Man, that sounds really interesting. Do you mind putting in the chat the name of the company and what you call it? Geofencing.
Geofencing. And so I'm going to put this in the chat. Check out.
I'm looking it up right now. I like it.
And here's one. Propellant Media does this. They do it for real estate agents. This is something that your competitors are not doing. And you might be pleasantly surprised at some of the results. So I would encourage someone to check that out. And the name of the game here really with farming from a marketing perspective is to be omnipresent. Like Daylon said, is to show up not just in one channel, not just do one thing, but make sure that you get the attention through multiple methods and channels. Mail, calls,
absolutely,
advertising, social media, geofencing, websites, retargeting, all of these things I would use to focus on a particular area.
Absolutely. And you know, that's very, very important. As agents, we have to be marketing all the time. Okay. And I would say this, I wouldn't worry too much about the content as to what to say or how to say it. Just say it. Okay. You have to be known in whichever area that you pick. You have to be known in that area. Okay. We're not all gonna be on TV. Or we're gonna be like Ryan Serhan or any of these people, but you can be well known in your own community. You should be very well known in your own community. You should be getting business from those areas. Okay, you're the superstar, you're the rock star for whatever area that you pick, and you should be the top dog. So think of what farming area that you want to be in, and think of ways that you can do this. Now, the good thing about, for example, in our company, we have a marketing team. So we have all this information at the tip of your hand, okay? A phone call away. So you got to do is just reach out to Steve or Rick, and we'll be more than happy to help you on how to get this set up for you. We have systems in place. We have CRMs that gives you your own personal website, landing pages, squeeze page, all the tools that you need to start doing marketing today. We have our marketing team can help you with setting up the right Facebook campaign, guide you through the right path of how you can start getting well known in your area. So figure out which farming area you want to work with, and learn how to do this. Now is very important to do this. Now is very important to go after these listings. And the only way you can do that is how many people know you. Which is saying, if I don't know you, I can't flow you. You probably heard this before. So if the sellers don't know who you are, if you're not known in a specific area, guess what? You're not going to be able to get that listing. So if you want to be the agent, the go-to person in your community, you have to be well known. So if you apply the strategies, and again, if you don't have the money, then there's all these platforms are completely free. So you got to start posting, you got to start doing mailing, you can do letter writing, you can do, there's a lot of strategies that you can go about this. They just send it out there. Now, all this information that we're putting together, you can find it in one simple guide. And I highly encourage you to download the book right now. If you go to dailanrubido.com, you can get the ebook. Ray, do you have the book handy? Now, this is a guide for you to use, okay? Just go over it, analyze it, dissect it. There's a lot of strategies. So it's a guide. Again, it's the ultimate guide to becoming a top producing agent. So you have to become the top producing agent in your market. It's your duty. It's your responsibility. And we're helping people by doing this. Okay, it's not because we want to be the glorious for us. No, we want to help the most people that we can get. So thank you, Ray, for showing the book. So go to dailanrubido.com, download the book, The Ultimate Guide to Becoming a Top Producing Agent. There's a lot of strategies in there we haven't even mentioned in our Real Estate Friday sessions, but you can go there and you can read it on your own. Now, there's more that we can offer, sessions like this, trainings. So if you want to learn more, where can we go, Steve?
I'm glad you asked. www.brokernation.events. So that's instead of .com, Daylon, it's .events at the end. That's the end instead of a .com. So brokernation.events, that's where I post the event calendar, all the upcoming events that we have, both internal and external, that are free events for all top Miami realtors in the area. We do tons of training, Mondays, Fridays. We do Chime CRM training, social media training, masterminds, all kinds of things. So make sure you bookmark that and stay up to date there.
Awesome. And if you're not with Broker Nation yet, and you want to know more who we are, why we're doing this, and how we are able to help a lot of agents that join our company, go to www.joinbrokernation.net, and you'll be able to get more information about who we are and what we do. So go to joinbrokernation.net and you'll learn more about us. In the meantime, go to our event page and register for our next event, which will be on Monday for Mindset Monday. So let's start a week strong next week. So ahead of time, go ahead and register. Now, if you know anybody else, if you have somebody in your team or other agents that you guys been trying to introduce to Broker Nation and they haven't done so yet, I highly encourage you, just register them for the training and they'll join. Trust me, they'll join. As long as they can get the information, how can we help them? They'll join the training. The training is completely free. So feel free to share that with other agents that you possibly know. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for joining us today for Real Estate Friday. I hope you have a safe day and a great weekend. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Thank you, everybody.
And I ask you all to unmute and say goodbye. I wish everybody a great weekend. I see a few new faces. Perla, welcome. And Maritza, you're a familiar face. All of you have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good to see you all.